super long drive.
Yeah, I just think that you should
I think
just
Ben has the longest drive.
Go on back.
Ben, you type as loud as you want. All right?
Oh, goodness.
So Spider-Man,
Yeah.
real quick. I've said my piece.
It's not real quick.
No. The first thing I want to say is we may have been a little negative on this game. One, because it was the finale. There's expectations of the finale for a Sony press conference. And yeah, I just want to say that my initial reaction was
The gut reaction.
was a gut reaction of disappointment for all the games that were not shown, rather than Spider-Man. Spider-Man looks
I'm surprised that you guys have so much more you want to say.
Oh yeah. So I guess
I've definitely got some because I know. Well, it was funny because I don't know. Did you guys have like a Q&A at the end of yours with people asking a bunch of questions?
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is why. This is when you say I'm surprised you want to talk about it.
It's the stuff that they were talking about then.
I think it was a bad demo to end their E3 press conference with. I think that it didn't blow everyone. Well, actually, no, that's not true because there's like 10 million views on YouTube. Like it did blow everybody away. And so I think, Huber, I think we look at E3 in a different way than like an average person does.
Yeah.
An average person was like, whoa.
If this was just in the middle, sneaky
Yeah.
middle game, we would have been like, wow.
Last of Us Part 2 levels?
Yeah.
No.
But really, kind of like Jones, I think that Q&A is the reason why I'm most excited about the game. The learning more about the game, and then the realization that this is a video game. This is something we're gonna get to play someday. Everything is so encouraging about this.
Yeah. Well, we kind of touched on this before, but one of the things they said sort of right off the bat, and then we tried to get elaboration on, didn't get any. They said that look, he's struggling to keep a balance between being Spider-Man and his personal life.
He wouldn't get into it, but people were like, are you going to play as Peter Parker? And he was like, Peter Parker will be important to this game.
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The answer you take away.
We literally got to like, we're not talking about that right now kind of response.
And at the end of the day, that was something that did bum me out, that I was surprised that Rocksteady didn't go there with Arkham, that like we did get like 5 seconds as Bruce.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I would have loved like a party at Wayne Manor where you're stuck in as Bruce.
Yes.
And you got to like talk to Nightwing, talk to the other people, like see what they're doing outside.
Jones.
Yeah, John.
You know?
Yeah, and to add on to that, when he was talking about how he was able to, by the way, when we say he, again, Brian Intihar, creative director, used to be at EGM, used to do the One Up show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, I love the One Up show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Baby. Best in the biz.
It's so cool actually to see that old team and how like the influential they are now. I love it. I love it so much. Anyway, so when he was talking about how he's able to pluck the villains he wanted, because I think a lot of us were working under the assumption it was going to be Mr. Negative the whole game, because all the villains they showed in the reveal trailer, all the villains they showed there were Mr. Negative Goonies, and so people kind of assume, he must be the big bad guy of this game. Not the case. This game's going to have a lot of villains, but what he said about the villains that he likes about Spider-Man is that he's got relationships with his villains.
Yeah.
Peter Parker does. Peter Parker had a relationship with Mr. Negative, and he does a lot canonically with a lot of the other villains.
Yeah, what is it like?
Yeah.
Aunt May is like
Works at the
participates.
shelters the guy owns. So when you see him and he looks in the helicopter and he's like, whoa, I know him. That's like Peter talking.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man hasn't faced him or something. Like that's like he's, it kind of like escapes him actually. He almost kind of like lets his identity slip a little bit.
So I think it's easy to have the
He's
impression.
like, this isn't you. And he's like, you don't know me.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
cool part.
Yeah.
Great part.
And so I get the impression that the villains aren't just bad guys at the end of a level. And that's really encouraging in any video game, but it's encouraging to see them do that with Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking to Kingpin in the demo, right? Like, after he's taken down Kingpin, like, Kingpin is still a part of that world and still interacting with what's going on.
Yeah. And so, I think when we're doing Peter Parker stuff, we're going to be checking out Doc Connor's lab and stuff like that. I think that when people are like, why would you even want to be Peter Parker? Like, why would you want to do stuff like that? It's to build those relationships with these characters.
There was a stealth level of you as Peter where you had all the abilities, but no one could see you use them.
Yeah.
And you just look at this trailer, too. It's so... This is the E3 trailer for the masses. It's the giant set piece. It's the wow moments. It's not the smaller stuff that when you're playing this game will really hit you right here.
Yeah, because I told you, Huber, I said coming into E3, the demo I wanted was Spider-Man walking on the streets, and we still don't have that. We still don't have that.
We still don't have him just freely swinging through the city at like a normal pace. You know, this was he was.
That's what I'm telling you. That was my favorite part of the demo I saw is when he did that.
Just
I'll do a concern, Blood. One of the questions I asked was in both the trailer we saw at E3, the demo we saw at E3, and the demo we saw behind closed doors, basically the same thing with like one extra fight. Spider-Man is like finding Fisk's construction workers just instinctively. The player is because that player knows where to go, and I was like, how will we in the game? And they weren't willing to talk about it. I think it's gonna be like waypoints. I think it's going to be like rescue Fisk's things, and there'll be like little triangles that like lead you there. Because Spider-Man is verticality; it's 3 dimensions, and I just hope it's not cheap. I wonder if there's like an L2 we like hold down and then we'll see them. They just weren't willing to show that to us yet. Exactly how we're targeting our next objective.
I think of like Ratchet and Clank objectives, and of course that's so much smaller scale. But sometimes it'll be like kill some things in this general area. So I'm wondering if it's just like, kill the thugs or find the thugs in this area, and then you do kind of just freely, climb around or swing around. And
yeah. He said that what we saw was a very condensed version of what that actual stage will be like in the final game.
True, yeah.
And so, there will be more freely exploring and trying to find Fisk's guys.
If I was to bet, I would say, because there's like 2 parts of that. There's the thugs he beats up until he gets the phone with Fisk, and then there's the thugs after. The thugs after that phone call, I don't think would be there. I think if you started that building and instead of going to where he goes, if you had like webbed over to that bridge, there'd be nobody on that bridge.
Yeah.
But then you go into that segment, fight those guys, and then once you fight the last group, that triggers Fisk to talk to you, says go save the rest.
You're right.
And then you just go around the building until you see somebody.
Because otherwise, we're playing that game, we could just go straight to the top of the building and find Mr. Negative up there. I bet you're right, Jones. I bet they are triggered by certain triggers. What I'd like to know that you spoke about, though, Jones, is... it was in response to, I think, Ben saying that it looked a little like Arkham, in which Batman's like perched, and then you see the next place you can get perched to. And Spider-Man does that too, in that you see the next place you can perch to, and there's a prompt, and you can go straight there. But you can also web over there creatively, and you can web around creatively.
I like that it's both triggers, so you get that kind of feel.
And
putting both hands out.
The combat is similar to Arkham too. I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And like the webbing them from the top, it's like the cape.
One thing that he did that I thought was really cool, I'm just remembering now, is the energy hands guy that jumps out of the helicopter. In the demo that they did, the Sony press conference, he, in the interest of time, like knocked him on the ground pretty quickly. Our guy dodged him like 8 times.
Oh,
which
cool.
was kind of fun. He was
That's
like,
fun.
nope. And like I bet that never gets old. It's just like, you miss me.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Batman, it's not as fun. It doesn't have as much personality. It's nothing against Arkham. Those games are amazing, but again, it's just a little more fun.
But how do you make like Spider-Man's so strong and so fast? It's like, how do you make this game with stakes? How do you make it threatening other than the supervillains with superpowers? Because
that's the thing.
Batman is human. Like any guy with a knife can take him down.
Yeah.
The guys with guns are so scary. Like they will mow you down. I feel like in this there were a couple guys with guns. In the demo they were kind of just standing there.
A bullet will still hurt Spider-Man. He's got some restraint.
Something else that they didn't demonstrate that is one of, in my opinion, the #1 major flaw of the Arkham franchise from start to finish is that I never met a civilian ever in that game.
Yeah.
Like literally, like they made 4 video games and they all had some weird.
It's Christmas.
Everybody just kind of left.
Yeah.
It's Christmas, and normally, of course, on Christmas Eve, no one's outside.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody goes shopping. No one goes out to dinner. No one like sees a movie or something.
Spider-Man not afraid.
Where it's like that city, people all over the place. So like, I would not be surprised.
PS3 games.
It'd be really cool if there were levels.
Nah, dude. Arkham
PS4,
Arkham Knight.
for
What's
sure.
Arkham Knight's excuse?
Yeah, but that was what, 2015. This game's 2018.
Right.
Wait till the next Batman.
Yeah.
So it would be neat to maybe play a level where there's like a
no.
burning building and you have to pull people out of it and like get them to safety, and so you're like grabbing a civilian, like not hurting them, but like just kind of like tying them together and lowering a room down or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
Could be
like,
fun.
and I don't know if we actually said it, but they basically said that like it's a mission for them to make sure that there's never any point where you question whether Spider-Man killed someone. It's like Spider-Man's never gonna kill anyone.
Yeah.
So getting those animations and stuff in there.
And some of that's been said about like some pushback on him being 23 years old, an athlete in his prime. I think that's genius.
I love it.
Could
Yeah.
really go for a Tom Button though.
Yeah, they need that time.
Really. He was. It's like not a lot of banter. Surprisingly,
There's some banter.
there was, but I even expected a little more.
You know what's fun is actually in the behind the doors demo was the one guy he saves who goes like, oh, I could have taken him.
Yeah, that was good.
And so even like these dumb New Yorkers are gonna trash talk back to
Oh,
Spider-Man.
and then he did say something good. He was like, yeah, sure, or something.
Yeah.
But, he did say something really good.
And so I like the idea of NPCs who aren't just like, thank you, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Sure.
It's like that's not all that Spider-Man's about.
Dude, that was such a good moment.
I love I love the animations. That's why I perched up originally. It's just like Spider-Man's a weirdo. Spider-Man will do weird poses that don't translate to the movie. You know what I mean? Tobey Maguire's never like.
Yeah.
But like when Spider-Man's doing that, that's the sickest thing.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the dedication they had toward the character, not just in story, but in the animations, in the appearances. They talk about how much that costume matters. There's gonna be multiple costumes for Spider-Man. Nice. And they said they're all cool. And I'm like, I believe you. Spider-Man's regular default is so cool.
Seeing like a taxi cab
Yeah.
miles away driving Jones,
Yeah.
this freaks me out. It's like wizardry happening. This game is
and it's just
huge.
beautiful.
And
A beautiful, warm city.
It's huge,
Yeah.
but it feels dense.
Yeah.
Well, think about Ratchet. You brought up great examples. Going into those metropolises that they built in those huge worlds, which is moving pieces all over.
This
the place.
is even
you can't see the edge. It's like I can't tell where the playable part ends and the background begins. Totally. And hopefully in this game there really is
And he
the
said
background's water.
He said, from the moment the game starts, whole city you have access to. Go nuts.
Yeah.
From the moment the game starts, just go nuts. How cool is that?
I'm ready. My body is ready.
I'm so ready.
What a thing to say. What a thing to say to allow to a player, just like, you know what, just be Spider-Man. Go nuts.
Will you be able to have a job as Peter Parker?
They don't talk about that specifically.
Yeah, they haven't talked about it yet.
They won't talk about
I
photography
want
or anything.
your theory, Kyle. I want Kyle Bossman theory on Peter Parker civilian job gameplay.
Well, it's weird. So I don't know my Peter Parker 23-year-old lore. I bet he's like a scientist at that point. I bet he doesn't take pics for the Daily Bugle anymore. I don't know.
I mean, they were
Bugle,
talking about
pizza
him like
delivery?
finishing college or something.
Yeah, so he's out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said he graduated.
Yeah.
He's a full-time job now.
He's a super smart
They didn't
guy.
say necessarily what it was.
Yeah,
I think the photos are also a nice PR play. It's not necessarily that he needs money, but he's kind of like controlling the messaging. It's like better I make myself look good than leave it
What
up
a
to somebody
Jones
else.
thing to say. That's such a Jones
He's
thing.
managing the brand.
manager.
He's managing that brand. That's sort of the best Spider-Man jokes from the movies when like the pictures are all perfect. And you're just like, what the hell? Like,
I still don't have a very clear picture of, when you're busting into those interiors like they showed. They tried to elaborate that it's not just like an autopilot thing. Like the interiors, there are like multiple paths to move through those spaces.
So I think how I would explain that is you'll see it in that one part where the business's room is like burning, and there's things that have crashed in.
Yeah.
You can see that he runs by a perfect square that Spider-Man could easily fit through.
Yeah.
And so I think there's multiple paths, but I think they all lead to the same spot.
in that one section specifically, the demo, it's you're not controlling his running. He's automatically running. You're just steering him through that section.
Cool.
So
if I went right, he'd go through that square, and if I went left, he would slide or something like that. Cool.
And I imagine the interiors work just normally. You can just walk around them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that coffee shop we saw in that first trailer, you can just go in there and just be like, whoa, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
But like in a mission, when they actually like throw you in there, like they take over a little bit and put the camera where they want it to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not perking up. I'm just moving my legs asleep.
A lot of his answers were, ask me in a few months. I expect we're going to see a lot more of this game at PSX.
Oh, yeah.
The countdown begins.
The countdown begins for PSX.
Oh, and they did talk about that the parkour system though, and how much they worked on that because it basically allows them to have more detail on the buildings, like fire escapes and stuff like that. Because you were saying, like, in a past Spider-Man game, if you'd put a fire escape on the side of a building, like you would just kind of run into it and you'd fall down.
Yeah.
But with this, like, he's able to just vault right over it and keep going. And same thing with like putting lots of details on the roof and all of that. That like they don't have to have flat rooftops. They can put all kind of stuff up there, and Spider-Man just runs right over it.
Yeah.
You want to know what would be a sick demo?
What would be a sick demo?
Spider-Man I don't have a name for it, but just the Spider-Man just swinging. That's all the demo is. Give me that demo right now. Let me
idea.
just swing through the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even have no NPCs. I don't
Yeah,
care. Just buildings and swinging.
No, I'm gonna give you.
Let me swing.
I don't want to give you the whole city though. I'm giving you
like a little section.
I'm giving you like Mirror's Edge stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving you like big blocky flat polygons to swing around on. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Because that'd be so fun. Because then when the game comes out, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea, Hubert.
Web swinging tutorial.
Yeah,
Practice.
so you're like, when the actual game starts, you're like, no, I got it. I got my swinging down.
Yes.
I would love that, dude. That's
There's
such a good
no way that
suggestion.
they would put out such a limited demo, though. That people would just go nuts with
I'm just
assumptions.
dreaming
We're just
blood. It's
dreaming.
1:30 in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
morning. I'm dreaming about
We're just
Spider-Man.
dreaming.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for hearing me. I really wanted to talk more about
Thank you for
Spider-Man.
bringing that back up.
That's
That's
just
a fave.
It's just incredible that game exists. That game shouldn't exist in today's day, and
Polish.
it's really cool. It's just there's nothing cynical about it. It's not connected to other.
Right.
There's no video game universe for Marvel movies. It's like Insomniac's got Spider-Man, and they're just trying to make the best possible Spider-Man.
This is the
yeah.
beginning of like 4 more Spider-Man games.
Sure.
Settled in.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which to me means, like, case in point, Joker at the end of Arkham City. It's like, if they put a villain in danger, it's like, I don't know if they're not going to kill him right now. I have no idea.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
They could just knock off Doc Ock right now and be like, sorry, he's
Yeah.
not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was important for us to make that moment impactful and buy. You're like, Mary Jane's dead. Sorry. You're just like, whoa. And it's like, it's our Mary Jane. We can do whatever we want,
Yeah.
to these characters.
And we also don't know exactly what they're going to do with Miles. Like, they really like Miles as a character. They said Miles is part of the story,
A
but
big part of the story.
it's Peter's story.
yeah.
But Miles is part of it, so yeah.
Next one, dude. Spider-Man 2, all about Miles.
Yeah.
Peter Parker's like gone somewhere.
Already on to the next one.
Super gone.
Yeah.
Who knows? Off the grid.
They want us guessing.
And then Spider-Man 3, they team back up.
yeah.
Which I think is why they also, I don't know if they said this in yours, but they distinguished it like Spider-Man, like it's mechanical webbing, not organic.
You can see it in the
traps.
suits. You can see, like...
Yeah, organic is only movie, right? Has he ever had an organic outside of the movie?
I wouldn't be surprised if the comics dabble in that, but it
Yeah.
is not the common
Okay.
mythos. Like,
Yeah.
because he's smart and he built that stuff.
Parker's
Definitely in the MCU, he built it.
Yeah.
You can see his little gadget. What's next?
Are we doing mine?
Yeah. What you
Do
got?
you want to pop up some